Mic check. Mic. All right, mic check. We're gonna. Hello, hello. 1, 2. Make sure before I. Hello, hello. All right, mic's good. Sorry about those loud noises. Xbox Live. Hi, Danny. We have a new microphone here. I can't. It's not a new mic. It's actually the exact opposite of new. This is a very old mic. I can't find the old microphone. I don't know what happened to it. But we're just going to keep it on the side here so I'm not too loud. Need somewhere it won't fall. This should be good. I'm going to back up from it so I'm not too loud. I have some adjusting I still have to do for the camera. Yeah, let me know when it's good. That should be good. I can actually probably get away with doing this. Putting it over here. So that way it's a little closer to the TV and I'm a little further back so I don't make too much noise. That should actually work. I do need to do one more thing. Hang on. All right. That'll get us set up. Danny, can you give us the numbers on how many games we've played thus far? Because this is it. This is the final regular season game of the season. I didn't notice that this camera bulges as much as it does, but it's basically a fisheye here. Army was the home team last year, so Navy plays the home team this year. We are going to get things started with the Army offense, led by quarterback number 11, Trey Dixon from Shoki, Illinois. Of course, the one thing you want to keep in consideration with Army and Navy, it's not your typical offenses. Expect a lot of option plays, expect a lot of running, expect a low-scoring defensive struggle, and expect a lot of running backs for sure. Look at all the halfbacks here. The lead guy for the Black Knights, Jeremy Cooley from Bristol, Pennsylvania. He's a senior. He would definitely be a high NFL draft prospect, if not for being at Army. I believe you do have to serve a certain amount of time in the military before you're ever eligible to be an NFL prospect. That may or may not have been the one thing holding back NFL draft, or the NFL, for Heisman Trophy winner Henry Blackburn, who won it at Army in 2017. He served 2 years in the military before being picked up as an undrafted free agent by the Carolina Panthers. He's been a journeyman since. Jeremy Cooley looks like the biggest name for Army going forward. But also, look down the list, you have Cole Hardy from Alice, Texas. He's a junior. Dale Green, a redshirt sophomore from Rolling Meadows, Illinois. James Kramer, a true senior from Forest City, North Carolina, as well as Raymond Leake, a redshirt sophomore from Creve-Sur, Missouri. Expect the fullbacks to play a big role. Cedric Freeman, a junior from Ellensburg, Washington, as well as backup Dwayne Ivey, a sophomore from Poughkeepsie, New York. Wide receiver Kyle Thomas, junior from Oak Forest, Illinois. Travis Hayes, a redshirt junior from Mount Massapequa, New York. David Engel, true senior from York, South Carolina. And Brian Gray, a redshirt junior from Rahway, New Jersey. Only one tight end on this team, Ben Weaver, redshirt sophomore from Beeville, Texas. Left tackle Michael Payne from Norwich, Connecticut, a junior. The left guard Joe King, a redshirt junior from Bloomington, Indiana. The center JT Marek, a junior from Covington, Virginia. The right guard Marcus Wilson, a redshirt sophomore from Flatwoods, Kentucky. And right tackle John Hendricks, a redshirt junior from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. On the defensive side of the ball, Will Gibson, a junior from Maryland Heights, Missouri. The right end Dante Nichols, a junior from Addison, Texas. On the defensive line, redshirt junior from Camarillo, California, Travis Taylor, as well as Mark Horner, a junior from Wichita Falls, Texas, and Kurt Wiley, a redshirt sophomore from Monroe, Georgia. Moving on to the next step, the linebackers. Left outside linebacker Chris Warren, redshirt junior from Russellville, Alabama. Middle linebacker, the big face of this Army team, Tony Amos, no relation. I might have to replace the batteries before we start here. He's a junior from Muskego, Wisconsin. The right outside linebacker is Michael Adams, a true senior from Burke, Virginia. Quarterback core, Kevin McGuire, sophomore from Paramount, California. Johnny Hoffman, redshirt junior from Ellensburg, Washington. Josh Langford, redshirt junior from Struthers, Ohio. And Gabe Summers, redshirt sophomore from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. The free safety is Jason Jones, a true sophomore from Santa Fe, Texas. The strong safety is Dan Miller, a junior from Downing, California. Kicker will be Corey Nelson, redshirt junior from Wadsworth, Ohio, and the punter, sophomore Dedrick Stewart from Golden Glades, Florida. That completes the Army side of the ball. We'll look at Navy up next. The Navy midshipmen coming into this game 5-7. A win for the midshipmen would be crucial to get them to a bowl game. They're led by quarterback Kevin Richardson, a sophomore from Dayton, Tennessee. The running back core includes James Davis, junior from Marshall, Texas. David Bullock, a redshirt sophomore from Madera, Ohio. Harry Benson, junior from Glencoe, Alabama. And Gerald Thomas, a sophomore from Dundalk, Maryland. Fullback, Amir Jefferson, junior from Nederland, Texas. And Robert McNair, sophomore from Thomaston, Georgia. A wide receiver, Chris King, senior from Alexander City, Alabama. Tyler McCullough, redshirt junior from Superior, Arizona. John Davis, true senior from Westgate, Virginia. Cedric Riley, a junior from New Milford, New Jersey. At tight end, Richard Howell, redshirt freshman from Bellflower, California. At left tackle, Kyle Peoples, a redshirt sophomore from Tremonton, Utah. Left guard, Kendall, Florida's sophomore Stephen Peterson. At the center, Jacob Spence, redshirt freshman from Hanford, California. At right guard, David Williams, a junior from Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. And at right tackle, Daniel Montgomery, a senior from Redlands, California. On the defense, DJ Palmer, redshirt sophomore from Redwood City, California. I noticed what you typed there, Danny. I'll get you in a second. Nate Johnson, a true senior from Enterprise, Nevada. At defensive tackle, Dave Simmons, a sophomore from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Jacob Hayford, a redshirt sophomore from Tarpon Springs, Florida, is here as well. On the linebacker core, left outside linebacker, Andre Williams, a redshirt sophomore from Shelby, North Carolina. At middle linebacker, Eric Sparks, a true senior from Westlake Stevens, Washington. And the right outside linebacker, Matt Holliday, redshirt sophomore from Dyersburg, Tennessee. In the secondary now, Curtis Olson, a junior from Covington, Tennessee. Victor Hunter, true sophomore from Brownsville, Tennessee. John Lewis, sophomore from Clemens, North Carolina. Casey Jefferson, sophomore from Elk Ridge, Maryland. and Drew Wyatt, redshirt junior from Chickasaw, Alabama. Free safety is Lance Wilcox, a junior from Marion, North Carolina. And strong safety is Dane West, a senior from Lahaina, Hawaii. The kicker is Seth Hall, sophomore from Santee, California. And the punter, Jason Kane, a junior from Colleyville, Texas. That wraps up the rosters. I'm going to take a quick peek at coaching, actually. The head coach of Army is Vincent Edwards, who's been here for a little while. He has been the guy who's given Army the most success they've seen in decades, nearly a whole century since Army has been this prevalent a program. And he took this program from out of the dirt and forged it into a bordering national power. Now looking today to get their 6th straight 10-win season. Of course, their biggest season was back in 2017 when they captured a 13-1 season and won the Peach Bowl. Meanwhile, for Navy, their head coach, James Williams, the Hawaiian native, 32-20 all-time at the helm of Navy. But this has been a struggle of a year for this coach. He has announced that he may or may not be looking for offers in the future for anyone who would want to pick him up. Though it is also quite likely that he will stay at his home, Navy. But we're going to get ready for the game here. As Danny says, this would be the 1,216th game of the 2KU season. Army Navy, of course, played 13 games to the usual 12. Navy with a slight edge. This game gives me a lot more to do with Navy. The other game, NCAA 13, gives me a lot more with Army I can do. Navy winning here would be their 6th win of the year. Army is looking for their 10th win of the year. I'm a little ashamed that Army doesn't have more to go with in this game. They had the all camo in NCAA 13. They brought back a lot of stuff from 13. I don't know why they couldn't have done it here. Army Navy here is in Lincoln Financial, but today we're playing it somewhere else. We're playing it in what in this game is FedEx Field, but for our purposes in 2KU is RFK Stadium, which I don't see. I did remember it being in the game, but we trudge along. We charge on. We'll do MetLife. We want 6 minutes. Yeah, we want 6 minutes for regular season games. Heisman difficulty. Let's do it. Army-Navy game, one of the true essential games to watch every year. Actually, Danny, you are right. That would probably be a better idea. I am going to do that, actually. This is not the actual start. Ladies and gentlemen, for anyone watching in the future, this is not the real start. Wait.
And welcome to neutral side action. And we're just about
We're going to let them kick off. And now we're going to take Danny's advice and switch it around. Give me heavy snow. Give me cold. We're going to make it very windy just for some fun. 5 minutes. We're ready. I actually have a bit of a confession to make. It's a bit of bad news, actually. Let me pause my stream there. Some bad news regarding 2KU. My computer is, at least for the short term, dead. You are currently watching this stream. You're currently watching this stream from my old Chromebook. I'm borrowing this just so I can get the streams out. What this might mean is 2K Weekly may or may not happen this week. If it does happen, it will not happen in the OBS recording. In fact, OBS is kind of ruled out for the short term. The problem with my computer is the hard drive is dead. Or at the very least, it just needs to be repaired. We may or may not be able to get 2K Weekly working in some way or another. But if it will work, it will have to most likely be solo since I can't record OBS. Since I can't record a Discord call from this setup. So if we do set it up, it may or may not have to actually be a solo thing. My apologies, but my computer just did not want to cooperate. I was up all last night trying to fix it. I'm going to have to get a professional to look at it. At the very least, I would think it might be out for the rest of the regular season, or for the rest of this season. We're going to move on. But nonetheless, we are going to get this game started. I at least have a way to record some of the games. I'm actually going to adjust the camera here. America's game. Army, Navy.
Just about set to kick off here. It's not a home game for either of the teams. Let's head down to the coin toss now. It's brought to you by Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste and 0 calories. Enjoy everything.
All right, we're in. The good news, though.
Nelson is lined up and just about ready to send this one off as we're ready to get this game underway.
And there's a freeze. The good news, though, is we have a new webcam now.
From the 2.
Before I was using Droidcam on my phone, as well as just letting the laptop record straight from there. But this will be the first time I have an actual webcam recording. And hopefully it won't last for much longer because I plan on eventually getting an actual computer with a capture device in order to get the gameplay directly. For the time being, webcam is working. Mike is good. We are live. Army-Navy game, ladies and gentlemen. As here we are with our first option play of the game. We'd expect this. And look at this. He's got room to run. He's all the way. Look at this. Big hole touchdown. Navy. James Davis, 69 yards. The midshipmen are on the board first.
That was simply sensational running. And it shows you what kinds of major things can happen when you have a good ground game.
And the kick is good.
Quick two-play, 72-yard drive, and it's good for 7 points.
You know, you always prepare your offense to think that you're going to have some success. These guys coming over the sidelines after touchdown.
It's away, taken from up to 4.
The score now.
2025 to the 30-yard line. Kevin Johnson on the return. And now out comes Army.
The quarterback leads the team out on the field for the first drive.
Now look at how successful Army's been in the last few years. 2015, they finished with 9 wins. 2016, 10. 2017, 13 wins. Look at the last seasons for Army. They got 9 wins 2014, 10 2015, and 2016. 2018, that's out of lose yardage. In 2017, they finished 14-1, the best record in the country that season. 2018, they also finished with another 11-win season. They did the same thing in 2019, 2020. They finished with 10. 2011, they finished with 12. Oh no, there's a pick, and he's got room. That one's gone. Touchdown, Navy. And as I'm talking about Army successes, Navy finding ways to take advantage and try and make some success of their own in a time they need it. What I was getting at is Army is looking with a win here to get their 6th straight 10-win season, which will have an uphill battle from this point forward trying to get.
And he adds the extra point.
Last time they had 6 straight seasons with 1 loss or fewer was all the way back in the 1920s and 40s. There's a flag.
His errant kick is giving the offense a great starting point to begin their drive.
Absolutely. The defense will have to come
Start
out
all the way at 35 after the kick goes out of bounds. Very windy here, very chilly in Washington, D.C. First time since the 40s that
The running back gets a yard, maybe less.
this returns to Washington. It's the first time since the 40s that Army is looking for 6 straight 10-win seasons. And here's Trey Dixon, the quarterback here for Army, and he's got a wide open first down for David Engel.
Nice job here by the wide receiver, looking the ball in and keeping the chains moving. He was on the same page.
David Engel with the reception gets it to midfield.
Outside linebacker blitz coming.
Black Knights more successful now than they've been since they were out winning national championships in the 20s and 40s.
Super job here by the defense of filling the gaps on the line. If you keep stringing out plays like that, you can really shut an option attack down.
Historic programs these two teams are, a combined 13 national championships. As there's a quarterback run for a first down into Navy territory. Trey Dixon adding to a legacy of great Army quarterbacks. The last legend, of course, being one Henry Blackburn. The 2017 Heisman Trophy winner came from the Army Black Knights. Tried the option play, didn't work. And there's an injury to Trey Dixon.
Third down, and they need to get it to the 27. Well, after that injury, we'll get to see the backup quarterback here.
In comes the backup. Plenty of time to throw it. He'll throw it over the middle. He's got a wide open touchdown. And David Engel, Army gets it. That's the throw from the backup, Brad Red.
Here truly knows what he has to do to contribute to make his team successful. And doesn't it always seem like he just
Look at that. Easy touchdown. An offense shining first. You don't expect that in Army Navy.
And he tacks on the extra point.
Trey Dixon, who's injured earlier, is a sophomore. He'll be out for a quarterback. He'll be out for a quarter, rather, but he'll be back later.
The main cog in this offense doesn't look like he's right now.
Kickoff return gets to about the 20. Benson on the return. Notre Dame played this Navy squad, and they gave them all they could handle. Being a Navy fan has especially been hard watching Army collect all the accolades while you are proverbially left in the dust. However, Navy beat the Black Knights last year, hoping to make it 2 in a row, and there's a big run to about the 35. Amir Jefferson on the play. As Danny mentions, Army has both the #1 offense and #1 defense among the independents. Or pardon me, Army is the second best independent offense. Second best independent offense, first best independent defense. Navy has #4 in both offense and defense. There's the handoff. We'll only get 3 on the play. Now, these are the 2 of the 3 teams who play for the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, which didn't go to either of these teams for the first time since 2013, and went to the 3rd team in this cycle, that being, of course, Air Force, who had an upset win over the Black Knights earlier this year. And they're going bowling this season as well. As that handoff, or that quarterback keeper goes nowhere, rather. Kevin Richardson had a very good performance this season.
From the 38-yard line, it's 2nd down.
Quarterback keeper, and he's got the pitch. James Davis will get 9, 3rd and 3. The option play gets 7 yards of 6 or 7 yards. Sets up 3rd down. And there you go on the option again. Pitch. Oh, and he's got room around the corner. Down the sideline. Touchdown for Navy, James Davis. Bill the Goat.
That's his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game.
This young man is no stranger to the end zone. That's 2 rushing.
There's a touchdown for Navy. And number 20 makes it 20-7 in this game. 7-play, 77-yard drive, 1:17. Taken off the clock. It'll be 21-7. A lot of 7s in that sentence. It kicks away. And I'll mention, I did not get to watch today's real-life Army-Navy game, but I've heard stories of how great the game was. I'll definitely be watching some replays of that.
So now the offense comes back out, hoping for the same success they had on their last drive.
As long as this quarterback has time to throw, you can guarantee that he'll find the open man.
Option play, that won't get anywhere. Brad Red still in for Army. On his first play, backing up Trey Dixon, he scored a touchdown. Second play, not so successful. Lots of blockers throwing over the middle. 1st down. You could consider what the coach of Army did for this program as sort of a precursor to what Coach Matt Muse did with his Georgia Tech. And it's fitting that that team is in the Peach Bowl this season. Second and inches here. Pressure, he'll keep it. First down, and he's got room to run inside the 30 to about the 25. And, no, you keep it on an option, but that was not the best decision, as it won't get anywhere. Second and 10. I'm thrown off because I'm not used to seeing the option this often. And they run it again, and it won't get anywhere. It'll be 3rd and 12. The Army-Navy game has been talking about cycling sites between years. As there's a throw for Red, wide open, breaks a tackle, touchdown, Kyle Thomas. Brad Red, 3 for 3 through the air, and Army is within 7 with 3 seconds to go in the first quarter.
The speed of the receiver is the difference in this play.
Kick is good.
A 7-play, 73-yard drive, and they had 7 points to the scoreboard. So our score, 21-14.
It's 21-14 in this game. And this will be the last play of the quarter, and there's a flag on the play. I would assume for clipping. That was correct, as that will come back to bite them. They'll start their own 13 at the beginning of the second quarter, as we've played one. Offense shining in the Army-Navy game. 21-14, the score after one.
And we're back for more action here in quarter number 2. With 1 quarter down, I really haven't seen too much separation between these two squads. Might be neck and
Learning
neck
that the
whole
TV
way.
is pretty bright for this webcam. It's very highly exposed. As there's a 9-yard rush for Amir Jefferson.
Navy up 7 points.
Option. As there's the back. Jefferson got room. It's James Davis, pardon me. So the 30 to 32-yard lines. 1st and 10. Oh, and a big hit after gaining 7. Kevin Richardson, the quarterback for this team. James Davis is the running back. And as I previously mentioned, this is the last regular season game. As there's Richardson getting a first down, 15 yards on the play. 1,216 games this regular season. We've had some great ones. Even ones we didn't sim ended up having a huge or even ones we didn't use NCAA for would end up having a huge impact on the season as it went forward. For some Classic Conference Championship games, but we're not done this season. We do have plans for the bowls coming up. Richardson. It'll be 3rd and 7 in Army territory.
3rd down now, and they need to get it down to the 36.
I will try to come up with a way to reveal the bowls in somewhat of a creative way. Probably. Oh, he slipped. He'll throw as a man, but not enough for the first. John Davis will get 4. And they're going to go for it. 4th and 3 inside the Army 40 rather. Option wrapped up in the backfield. Turnover on downs. I love that Army-Navy logo graphic as it flies by. Adds a lot more flavor.
There hasn't been too much daylight between these two teams. In games like this, some players try to press too much, and that can cause mistakes.
Run for Cedric Freeman, gets 6 yards on the play. And a breaking news in 2KU and in real life, a bunch of teams have announced their move to the FBS in coming years, namely from the IRL, ASUN, and WAC. Danny, if you can give me the list of the teams joining that aren't already in the FBS and 2KU. We do have plans to include them in the future. Whether this season or next will be up to decision later.
From the 45-yard line, second down.
Second and 12. Handoff to the fullback. Cedric Freeman is 4. Oh, he slipped. The snow is providing a lot of difficulty for Dixon, but there's a big throw for a first down. Kyle Thomas with the reception. Trey Dixon is 2 for 3 today. Option play. Cole Hardy will lose 3. Second and 13. Army trying to tie it. Ball will be at about the 14-yard line.
Second and 13 coming up here. Ball on the 14.
I'll read those teams in a moment. Quarterback keeper, he'll get 2. The teams joining include Abilene Christian, Tarleton, Austin P, Eastern Kentucky, and the team down Utah Tech. Another team will be joining when they add football, that being UTRGV. Oh, look at that! Touchdown, Army! Jeremy Cooley, the halfback, catching the pass and getting the Black Knights within 1. That almost hit the ground.
Once he gets those jets on, there wasn't going to be anything that could stop him.
Very close. Maybe too close. They'll review it. I think he caught it.
And what they're looking for is whether or not the ball touched the ground before he had possession.
Is that clear? Is that indisputable? Yes, it is. That looked very close, but he did catch it above the ground. And they do call it as it is.
It's a catch.
And they'll look to tie it with the PAT, and it goes through. Abilene Christian and Eastern Kentucky are still alive in the FCS playoffs. As is Utah Tech. They play in the Utah Tech Trailblazers playing the first round.
They bring him down, and they bring him down hard on that one.
There have been discussions in 2KU about the futures of teams like North Dakota, Montana, Southern Utah, and Nebraska, Omaha, as well as Eastern Washington. This move may give them an out.
I don't know how anybody can throw a great pass while getting drilled like that.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 24.
Though I've heard from the camps of teams like North Dakota that an FBS move is very much a possibility. An FBS downgrade to FCS is very much a possibility. Those votes happen in January.
He fights forward to after 36.
And previous developments, Eastern Washington, Montana, and Southern Utah all... Oh, fumble! And Army picks it up. They'll get the ball at the Navy 25, number 36. It was not number 36. It was number... Can't tell who that was. Someone knocked it loose on Army, and the Knights fell on it. As I was saying, Eastern Washington, Montana, and Southern Utah all voted to leave the Mountain, to not join Mountain West in full sports. There's a flag on the play. What that means for other sports is up in the air. Some teams want to stick around, others do not. There's the throw, caught. Not enough for the first, though. It'll be second and inches. Dixon throwing, incomplete.
It's third down, and they're about the length of the football away from the first down marker.
Option play. Dixon, just enough for the first.
That was a questionable decision, if you ask me. They're lucky it didn't go for a loss.
Quarterback keeper. That won't go anywhere. It'll be a loss of 3. There's the defensive football we were expecting.
So that sack sets them back a little bit now. They're looking at 2nd and 13.
Dixon with time. But that time runs out. He's sacked. A loss of 7. Timeout Army. Their second of the half. 53 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing, caught. Not enough for the first.
It's 4th down. They'll call on the field goal unit here. Army is looking to go up by 3.
They'll go for the field goal. And there's a false start penalty. That'll push him back.
Maybe he got the cadence wrong coming out of the huddle.
A very loud crowd supporting Navy here in D.C. 4th and 7. They'll try for a field goal that's 5 yards longer. There's a lot of wind and a lot of snow. Can they get it from this far out? Yes, they can. Army takes the 3-point lead. They get the ball back in the second half, but Navy has been great getting through defenses so far. But they did fumble their last drive.
In a game that's this close, you can't afford to waste possessions.
I will be on call, Danny, after this stream's done in completion.
Second down and 10 to go. Ball on the 28.
Second and 10, 21 seconds on the clock.
Gets out to about the 31.
4-yard run, timeout, midshipman. Richardson keeper. Running. Ooh, big hit. Army calls their final timeout. It'll be 4th and 4. Punt situation.
Kramer is back deep to return.
Kramer. He punts it. 10 seconds on the clock.
Really nice punt.
He'll weave his way for a 13-yard return. They'll have 4 seconds on the clock to see whatever they could potentially draw.
Fairly even. And with so little separation, this game can be drastically changed on just 1 or 2 plays. Army has a 3-point lead.
Quarterback keeper, and that'll get stuffed for no gain, and that will be the end of the first half. Army Black Knights on top by 3, 24-21 at the half.
Glad to have you with us in the studio for the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show.
presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Reese Davis and David Pollock here completely locked in on that first half. I'm sure both teams have problems in the first half, but one of them, David, not moving the football. Both offenses really ran up and down the field.
We see this more in college football, Reese. More success on the offensive side, and it's harder and harder to stop these offenses. They continue to get more and
And a
more
great game for
defenses. They got no answer.
offense, which is not what you expect here in the Army-Navy game.
The whole second half.
Just about set to start the second half. What are you looking for?
I'm looking to see which team has that decided schematical advantage.
And if they can find it, they'll blow holes 3 or 4 axe handles wide. Brad and Kirk will be there to call the second half. Great first half. Hopefully the second half is good.
Here's the second half. Army gets it back. They'll aim to go up 10.
From the 5-yard line.
And that won't get past the 20. Big hit on the play.
They'll take over here, ready to start a new series. And he's taken down at about the 19-yard line.
So here comes 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1 on the run play. Dixon. He'll throw it. No, he'll run it himself. Only a gain of 1.
He might have gained a yard on that scramble.
You're not going to be able to get by a sure tackler like this linebacker too often.
Army holds a field goal lead.
To Cedric Freeman. Not enough for the first. Army will punt it, most likely. And they will.
Stewart is waiting for the snap.
Stewart with the punt.
It's away and it's a booming punt.
All the way to the 25.
He's to the 40.
And we wrestle down to the 41.
41-yard line. There's still plenty of time to keep running their offense as usual here. I don't think they need to feel any anxiety about trailing.
Handoff up the middle for 6 on the play. Oh, hurdling. They'll gain 3, 3rd and 2 from the 49. Option play. Oh, and there's room to run. Inside the 40. And there's a first down for Navy. Boys in blue have been doing a great job running it. Option, and it works again, not as well this time, only a gain of 3. As mentioned before, these teams live and die by the option play. So throwing it out, and that will not gain anything. Kevin McGuire with his 3rd tackle brought down James Davis. He's had 150 rushing yards today. Navy's 3 for 5 on 3rd down. This one's 3rd and 6. From the Army 32. Throwing over the middle. First down. Big hit. No, he dropped it. Ryan Scott couldn't hang on. And they're going to try a 50-yarder.
So he did the next best thing. He timed up his hit by the time the quarterback threw the football.
This is a 49, 50-yard field goal with the win to consider. And he got it. This game is tied at 24. The kick is caught at the 5, 10, 15, 20, to up to 28. Navy's defense, 227 yards. He's have 2 sacks and a pick today.
Making a lot of plays and really giving themselves a chance to maybe win this game.
I think it says something about the quality of the preparation of both teams.
Army comes back on the field trying to take the lead. Option play with room. Jeremy Cooley, the senior, will get 7. And off up the middle to the fullback, Cedric Freeman. That'll get a first down from about the 38. Oh, look at that. The ball was not in the center's hands. There it goes. I thought it was going to do that glitch we've seen before. The quarterback keeper will lose 3. We've seen it twice before. Richardson out for 3 weeks. That might be the season for Navy. Quarterback keeper, loss of 2 on the play.
Right, he's lucky he held on to the football there.
Stepping back, Trey Dixon will throw to the right. Incomplete. He's 6 for 9 passing today, 98 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And Army will punt it. It's away. Weaving to the 35.
This back's had a good day on the ground.
Well, Brett, for him, it's just been one big play after another. You can really appreciate his durability and his ability to make big plays for this offense. And when you're an offensive coordinator and you have a back that's in this kind of zone, the most important thing for you to do, continue to give him the ball and continue to keep these drives alive, because right now he is unstoppable.
But when he goes up against this team, he always wants to play his best. But
Navy will get their drive started.
You don't want to squander any possessions, but maybe now is the right time to dip into your bag of tricks a little. Think about some gadget plays.
The run here. Backup running back Ryan Scott for Navy. Quarterback. And they run it himself, first down into Army territory. Running back Amir Jefferson gets 11 on the play. There's the pitch. Oh, look at this. Room to run. Just brought down at the 1. David Bullock gets 31.
They're not in a hurry, but they're very, very methodical and very consistent with their approach. That's the 3rd first down that they've picked up on this drive.
Oh, there's the quarterback keeper. Touchdown, Navy. Ryan Scott, the backup quarterback, comes in for Richardson. And now they're gonna kick the PAT to go up 31-24.
62-yard drive, and they come away with 7 points.
Boy, this offense right now is just being physical, really controlling the line of scrimmage, and it's opening up some nice big lanes for the running back.
The kicks away.
31-24.
Caught up with the 3.
Return from the 4-yard line. He gets out to about the 22-yard line.
Both teams are kind of struggling to take control of this game. Obviously, they're both very, very competitive.
232, 304 yards. Navy with the offensive edge. 18 first downs.
Easily overcome, sure. But they have to be thinking if they don't get something going on this series, the burden is going to be felt by their defense.
Option play doesn't go anywhere. Army having troubles recently. Swallowed up in the backfield, but he will get 4 yards out of it, stumbling forwards. 3rd and 5. Trey Dixon has not had luck running it, unlike the other side of the field. Will tries luck throwing it. Wide open first down. Army to the 40. Kyle Thomas. Trey Dixon will lose 2 on the play. Victor Hunter with the TFL for Navy. As previously mentioned, Commander-in-Chief Trophy not in play here. Both of these teams lost to Air Force. There's not a flag, but the end of the third quarter. 31-24 the score. Navy on top, but Army's looking to tie it. One more quarter of action in this one. Who can take the reins in DC? Dixon looking to throw. He can't get time. He'll lose 4 on a sack. Nate Johnson brings him down.
He's got the ability to collapse the pocket on any given pass play. And as a play caller, you constantly have to be aware of it. Whether you're going to roll away from him or you're going to chip with a tight end or a running back, you're constantly concerned and aware of a big, strong defensive end.
Wrestled down by number 58, Nate Johnson.
So the sack makes this third and
16. Dixon has time. He'll heave it deep. Intercepted. Going to be brought down inside his own 5.
He just made a huge play right there. He knew what was coming all along.
Gets stolen away. Number 8. That's West, who reels it in. They'll rule it at the 6.
First down. Navy up 7 points.
Navy backed up in their own territory. No mistakes can be made here. But there's a costly one. Ryan Scott will lose 3. Run will only get 2. Amir Jefferson on the run. It's Keith Richardson, the quarterback, who will be out 3 weeks. Heaving this one to the sideline. Caught. First down to the 25. Richard Howe brings it in. Quarterback keeper pushes his way to the first at the 35.
From their own 37-yard line, it's first down. Now we'll see how the backup can do after that injury.
Brought down for a loss. Attempting the option, Kyle Sellers loses 2. Is that another backup quarterback? Yeah, the second quarterback out for Navy. It's Kyle Sellers, the third stringer for the midshipmen. Here's 3rd and 11. As we're about to pass an hour on the stream. Navy running out the clock. 3 minutes to go in the game. A score here potentially ices this game and gives Navy its 6th win. He'll heave it to the sideline. Incomplete. Kyle Sellers from Oregon, Ohio. 5'10", 201 pounds, the junior. And he's been struggling to fill in the footsteps of the two quarterbacks that have gone out so far. However,
The defense has everybody on the line.
Navy has the lead with over 3 minutes to go.
They get this one off, and it's a beauty.
Army is in desperation mode.
He's out to the 30. He makes it out to maybe the
Going to the
30.
30. James Kramer, the return man for the Black Nuts.
An interception cut this offense last drive short, so I think they're going to be looking for a little more success right
Trey
here.
Dixon had his second interception earlier today. Can he avoid one here? Running it himself. He stops, but he will get the first down. I don't know why he stopped there.
Less than 3 minutes in the game.
Option play.
Good outside run there.
6-yard gain. Running on the outside. Trey Dixon has 25 rushing yards rather. 22 attempts. As there's the fullback barreling his way for a first down inside the 45 to about the 41-yard line of Navy. Knights trying to tie it. Dixon throwing, bobbled, incomplete. Dane West credited with the deflection. He had an interception earlier. That was on that last kick.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 41-yard line.
Just over 2 minutes to go.
Flags are all
And there's a flag, false start. This DC crowd is getting loud.
Little stumbles like these can kill your offensive progress. Still second and 10.
He'll throw it deep. Incomplete. No one was there.
A step or two further into his route to have any chance of snagging that pass.
to get back in this game.
2:03 to go, 3rd and 15. Dixon, the pocket's collapsing. He'll be brought down for a sack. Minute 56, 4th and 16 now. And now, that was your game potentially. You have all 3 timeouts, but Navy's been running it well all day. And they're going to go for it. A smart decision, as this may be the game. Dixon throwing, first down, inside the 30. Kyle Thomas brings it in. He's been the number 1 wideout for this Army team. And Army returns the Navy red zone. He slips on the snow. He'll run it himself. And he'll get about 5 on the play. Minute 29 to go. You're down 7. You need a touchdown and a PAT to tie it. Here in the cold snow. And there's another false start. That's a drive killer. This late in the game.
Maybe he got the cadence wrong coming out of the huddle. The coaches have a low threshold for mistakes like that.
From the 28-yard line. 2nd down.
2nd and 10. Minute 17 to go. Ball at the Navy 30. Trey Dixon throwing short, caught on a slot play. Jeremy Cooley, the senior, will get 6. Minute 9 to go. Tick, 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 tick. Time is going down. Dixon throwing, caught, steps out of bounds. First down, Black Knights.
Coaches and players on the sideline are fired up, and it's a new set of downs.
57 seconds to go. Quarterback keeper, option play, fools the defense, touchdown Army. That fooled me. He looked like he was going down for sure.
The extra point to tie this game up.
And he gets the lateral off on the option play and finds room around the corner.
We are now tied in the
And that's a touchdown to tie it. Dixon, bruised ankle. He'll be back soon, which is what you need if you're Army. We're tied at 31 with 52 seconds to go. We may be going to overtime in this game.
to the 20.
Oh, what a hit on David Bullock.
Late in the fourth quarter now, tie football game, and we're headed to overtime. I hope it's going to be as good as what we've seen through
48 seconds to go. We're tied at 31. Scott back in. Intercepted! 45 seconds to go. The big man jumping up in the air and snatching it. An incredible play.
First and 10. Ball on the 31. Under a minute left.
1 minute to go. 45 seconds to go to be exact. As the backup,
He scrambled.
Brad Red comes back in. He'll lose 5, falling in the snow. A field goal wins it. You have all 3 timeouts. You just got to get into certain field goal range. And you can't be too certain out here because of the wind. The CPUs in this game have not been known to try and kick a field goal to win it. And they're not going to try it here. They want to go to OT. Or they're going to try and win it. The throw,
Open field.
he's got room, but he can't get out of the way. Overtime in DC, you could have gotten a field goal on the play. You have 3 timeouts. I don't know why they didn't try for it. But overtime it is. Army wins the toss, and they will defer. We had some great overtime games in the conference championship games. The Big 12 and SEC stand out, of course. As does the WAC, who had an overtime showdown. What can we get in this game between Army and Navy? Running back brought down after a gain of 2.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Ball on the 23-yard line.
Quarterback keeper can get the first down, but can't get in the end zone. First and 10 from outside the 10. Option play. What a good play to get it into the end zone. The lateral working perfectly. Bullock puts it in. David Bullock and Navy up 7. We're up 6 now. They'll go up 7 with the PAT.
It can be advantageous to have the ball second in overtime, but only if you can make a stop. Now that they gave up the score, they're playing from behind with a ton of pressure on them.
And he adds the extra point.
Extra point is good. Now Army has to respond.
From the 25-yard
Almost over, I would say, over 700 combined yards of offense. Unheard of in the Army-Navy game. Brad Red still in as the backup. He'll throw this one. Caught. First down inside the Navy 15. Red throwing to the left, caught. Can he get all the way around? Yes, he can. We're going to double overtime. Cedric Freeman, it's the fullback who puts it in.
So they come up with the equalizer.
This offense did just what they had to do. They knew they needed 6 points, and they got it.
We're going to be tied at 38. Given the PAT, we're going to have to double overtime. Brad Red, the quarterback for this team.
Here comes the kicker to try to tie this game up.
Heavy wind, you got to watch out for that. But it sails through anyway. 38-38, we're going to double OT. Just as the real game went to double overtime, so shall this one. Dixon back in the game. There's a heave to the end zone. Caught! Diving catch! But he's short of the end zone. It'll only be first and goal for the one. Hand off, stuffed in the backfield. Hunter brings him down for the TFL. Second and goal in the second overtime. Controller's not connected. Trey Dixon will keep it. Touchdown, Army. Trey Dixon back in the game after being out for the last part of the fourth quarter and the first drive of overtime. But he does what he needs to. Brad Red did what he needed to. And Army now will take a 45-38 lead. Here's Scott. Heaving this one. Incomplete. Threw it too far. Over an hour 11 minutes on the stream. Handoff stuffed. 3rd and 10. Navy needs a first down to stay alive in this game. They need a touchdown to tie it and send us to a third overtime. Scott over the middle, caught. There's the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 from about the 13. And in motion, Scott steps back. He'll run it himself. Bulldozes his way for another first down. Keith Richardson is the main guy for this Navy offense, but Scott here filled in fine. He'll run it himself. Touchdown, Navy. Ryan Scott is about to send us to overtime number 3.
It's just been amazing. These two teams have been playing dead even. Here's the PAT to tie this thing up.
The PAT, this will tie it, and it's through 3 overtimes in DC.
Both teams are dead tired, but one is going to outlast the other. This is looking like a classic in the making.
And this is the 3rd overtime. We're tied at 45 in the Army-Navy game. Scott. Pressure coming. He'll throw it. Touchdown, Navy. John Davis wrangles it in, and the midshipmen have put 50 on the board. But they're not done yet. You have to go for 2. You gotta try and go up 2 in order to keep control of this game. They've had success punching up the gut before. Oh, and there's the option play. They'll get it. 53-45. The option working tremendously for this Navy team. And what may go down as an all-time classic in this rivalry, Army gets the ball back, and they need a touchdown and 2-point conversion to send us to a 4th overtime. Here's Dixon. With time, he'll throw it. Caught. First down. Inside the 15, it'll be ruled at the 14. And the Black Knights playing from behind. Throw over the middle. Bobbled and incomplete. In and out of the hands of both a back and a receiver. Here comes 2nd and 10. First down on the 4. Dixon. He'll run it himself. Bulldozing touchdown, Army. Trey Dixon. But now they're a 2-pointer away. They're 2-point away from tying it, but you need that 2-point conversion in order to stay alive. This is the game. Option play, 4 overtimes. An Army-Navy game first. We've never gone this long in this rivalry. This is the longest game we've recorded on the 2KU channel. We've had a 3-overtime game between BYU and Minnesota earlier this year. It's the 2nd longest game we've ever recorded on a stream. There's the throw, incomplete. The first longest went to 5 overtimes. That was the 2021 Insight Bowl between Penn State and Texas A&M. Trey Dixon, he'll run it himself. First down, Black Knights. The longest game in 2KU history came that same year, 2021, an 8-overtime clash between LIU and Toledo. But that option play goes terribly for the Knights. It'll be 2nd and 14.
Second down, 14 coming up here. Ball on the 18.
Here's the keeper. And he's got room! Touchdown, Knights. And for the first time in this rivalry's history, not only are we in the 4th overtime, we're about to go to 60 points if they can convert the 2-point conversion. This is officially the highest scoring game in rivalry history.
Well, they're going to try for the 2-point conversion. Army with a 6-point lead.
Gonna try and get the 2-pointer. Oh, and that's easy. An easy 2 points, 61-53. Officially the first time in rivalry history 60-plus points have been scored by one team. And combined, it's the highest scoring game in this rivalry's history. And Navy gets it in the 4th overtime. There's the throw, incomplete. At least I believe this is the 4th. This is the 4th overtime. Pardon me. So much overtime's happened, I can't remember. But Navy now in desperation mode. A loss here wouldn't rule them out entirely, but of course, you want to beat your rival, you want to sink 2nd, and you want that 6th-win security. Quarterback keeper, first down. It's really who flinches first in this matchup. You gotta watch out for costly mistakes on either side of the ball. 2nd and 1 after the run play. This has become a game of mud and snow. 2nd and 1 from the 5. Quarterback keeper for Scott. Touchdown, Navy. But now it's down to the 2-point conversion in the 4th overtime.
But you never know when that play will win, lose, or in this case, tie the game.
Here goes. Your season on the line. 5 overtimes. And this game will tie our 2K record, the longest game. It'll tie for the longest game we've ever featured on stream.
We might be here all night. We're heading to another overtime. 1st and 10. Ball on the 25.
Navy gets it first in the 5th overtime. Heaving into the end zone. Touchdown, Navy.
Anytime you get into an overtime period and you can
And 2 points away are the midshipmen from going up 8.
But they were finally able to do it. Now let's see if the defense can
And
secure
now
the victory.
it's the defense's turn to respond.
Navy up 6.
First, you got to get the 2-point conversion. Barreling in. He got it. 69-61. And Bill the Goat, is going to have to do a lot of push-ups. Danny, remember when you calculated Sparky's push-ups? You remember when you calculated Dave Show Devil's push-ups? How many would this be? And Army is going to try and respond. This throw to the end zone. Intercepted. Navy has won in 5 overtimes. The longest, the highest scoring. And up there is one of the greatest games in Army-Navy history. The midshipmen win 69-61 in 5 OT.
We had a fight to the finish here today. Navy 69, Army 61. As we wrap this game,
There's the play of the game. This,
you want to share?
You just can't underestimate
I believe this was very early in the game. That was the first touchdown in the game, I believe.
Moves into the one team you want to beat in overtime.
And the Navy midshipmen get to sing second. An hour, 20 minutes of stream before the end of this game. Ryan Scott, the backup, coming in, clutch 5 touchdowns today. Here from DC, the first game of the new cycling Army-Navy Stadium locations. 69-61, the final. And Navy for sure is going bowling. A combined 130 points in this game. It's the highest, it's the most points that Navy has scored in the Army-Navy game. It's the most points that Army has scored in the Army-Navy game. And it's the highest combined Army-Navy score ever. It was the 21st Army-Navy game to go to overtime. Army was the 11th Army-Navy game to go to overtime. It was the first ever to go to more than double overtime. And by extension, of course, it was the longest game in the history of this rivalry. How about the combined 69-61 score? 16 and 17 first downs. Army had one more. A combined almost 900 yards in this game. I believe that is over 900. Army-Navy. The fact that this is Army-Navy is even more surprising. Look at the rushing yards. 372 yards of rushing on the day for Navy. If you look at the stats, 5 turnovers. Army had 3 picks in this game. Navy had a pick and a lost fumble. Time of possession, Army led 11:41 to 8:19. The penalties were what really did it in, though, for Army. Let's take a look at Ryan Scott, our player of the game. 2 passing touchdowns, and 3 rushing touchdowns as well. 4 for 83 yards. Rushing is where he starred, though. Not the best rusher on the day for Navy. That would have been Amir Jefferson, who did not, I believe, did not have a lot of carries, though he was the fullback. Give him credit for that. Kevin Richardson, the quarterback, injured earlier in the game. He'll be out until, I believe, he'll likely be out until the Military Bowl. He had 35 rushing yards. Scott had 65. 152, though, went to James Davis. Davis came in clutch many a time for the midshipmen. Army had over 100-yard rusher or 100-yard receiver in Kyle Thomas. Trey Dixon had 77 rushing yards on the day. Now let's take a look at that scoring summary. You would expect 21-14 to be the final score, but no, that was the first quarter score. 38-30 could be a final score, but that was just how many points they scored in OT. 5 overtimes it took to decide a winner here. In snowy DC. And that will wrap the regular season of 2KU. $69-61. Unreal. A huge high-scoring game. This is what you expect from like Boise State and TCU. And not Army and Navy. How about 305 passing yards for Army, 372 rushing yards for Navy? Incredible. Let's look at the players of the game before you go. Ryan Scott and Dane West. 2 picks for West. 5 total touchdowns for Ryan Scott. Trey Dixon had an incredible game of his own. 77 rushing yards, 4 total touchdowns, including 194 yards passing. He was 12 for 21 through the air. Dante Nichols for Army had a forced fumble, a sack, a TFL, an assist tackle, and 4 tackles of his own. And that wraps not only, of course, don't fret, 2K Weekly this week, but I will find a way to get the Bulls announced to you, of course. We're going to thank you all for watching. Thank you for watching all the games that led up to this. And stay tuned for more 2KU in the future. We have plenty of other stuff lined up as well. So stay tuned, and so long from the 2KU.